Alright y'all, so today I'm doing ribs on the grill. I've done my whole section of like baby back ribs on the grill before, but I'm going to do them individually this time, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to cook them along the way. I've been using the Blackstone a lot, but today I'm going to be using my Traeger 575, so I'll show you how we're going to make this.
Alright guys, so I bought like this party pack style ribs. I don't really know which cut they come from. I think they say they're the country ribs, which I want to say they're kind of like a spare. I got 2 packs, but one was plenty for me. So with the power of editing, I'm going to get these in here. You don't have to do this. This is optional, but for me, I'm going to get this shaken up. I'm going to add a little bit of mustard to each one of the ribs, and then I'm going to season them with Killer Hog seasoning. And I'm going to get both sides. Not everything's going to be shown on camera, but you're just going to get a thin coat of mustard on each side of the ribs. You don't need a lot, and you're not going to taste this in the finished product. So all I'm going to do is just spread this out somewhat evenly, and then I'm going to season it. And you can use a lot more seasoning than you think. These are pretty thick ribs, almost to the point of being kind of like a pork chop. But obviously they have bones and some of the sinew in it that make it more rib style. But season them up pretty generously. And off camera, I also seasoned all the edges. And some of that seasoning that fell down in the pan, I rolled it up. You get the point. I seasoned these pretty thoroughly because you're going to lose a little bit through the cooking process. These are going to take quite a while to cook with the way I'm doing it. So I'm not going to show all of them, but getting these flipped over. And then just season the other side. Again, I've obviously had the benefit of hindsight, and I seasoned some of this off camera. So just going to get them seasoned up pretty good. And we're going to let these absorb some of the seasoning while the grill's out there coming up to temperature. So I'm going to get that going up to about 225 once I get these seasoned. And during that time, this is just going to absorb more of that seasoning. This is how it'll look once they're all taken care of. And then I seasoned some of those dry spots while my grill was heating up. And I saved this pack for later.
All right, now that I got those things seasoned, I'm going to let them kind of sit and sweat out a little bit just during the warm-up phase. So I'm going to get this thing going. I got the signature blend pellets, and I'm going to be cooking at around 225, and I'm going to let those go for about an hour, and then I'm going to flip them. So I'm going to get this thing fired up. Meantime, my ribs are in there kind of sweating out and absorbing some of that seasoning. I might season them one more time just to get a little bit better coverage. Then we're going to get these things on. All right, so we're getting pretty close to temperature, close enough for me. So I'm gonna be careful here and try not to knock over the camera and not knock over my ribs at the same time. I forgot to mention, I don't know if I did earlier, I'll show you guys later which seasoning I use. It was just the Killer Hogs one. So shout out to How to Barbecue Right. I'm using his stuff, and I got these seasoned up. I'm just gonna get them all on here. Now again, I only made 1 pack. I'm gonna save another one for later. Maybe try something a little bit different with them. Maybe even try smoking them on my Weber. But I'm gonna get these all laid out and let them go for about an hour, maybe even a little bit longer. I'll probably check on them at that time. Maybe spritz them a little bit with the juice, with the apple juice I have. Might need to scoot those back just a little bit. We'll see. Get these all laid out. See if I can do this without burning myself and one hand. All right, so now I'm just gonna get this closed and let it go for about, like I said, an hour. We'll give it a check. All right, guys, so I'm gonna post everything I use down below in my description. It's gonna be a link to my Amazon. I do receive some form of payment from that. It's not necessary. It costs no more to you, but I will post everything down there in case there's something you want to get. But this is the seasoning I'm using. I'm not gonna post this down there. Just because this is from How to Barbecue Right, and so I feel like it's only right to go and buy this from him. But I'm sure he has it on his page, I'm unsure. But this is what I'm using, and then I'm just gonna use any kind of store-bought kind of brown sugar and barbecue sauce, and obviously apple juice. But other than that, everything will be posted down below that I'm using, so we'll check on these again after an hour. All right, about an hour down. Looking good. They've kind of firmed up a little bit. Gonna give them a little bit of a flip here. Toss them on over. Then we're gonna go for about another hour. I'm also gonna go get some apple juice because I forgot to grab that. And what the heck is this? that gone on there. Then we're gonna go. I'm gonna get that apple juice ready. I'm just gonna get it in a little bowl and kind of get it on top of these. I don't have a spritzer, like a little spray bottle to spray, so I'm gonna use just a little bowl and a little like spreader. I'll show you what I mean once I go get it, but you get the point. I'm gonna kind of get these looking good. Another hour, and these are really gonna have some pretty nice color to them. Might even kick up the temperature just a little bit, but these are turning out great so far. Again, another hour and we'll check how these are doing. So again, I just got a bowl and again, whatever you call this. We're only an hour in, so I'm just opening this back up before we get cooking again. And I'm gonna try not to touch the meat too much because I don't want to mess with the seasoning too much, but just gonna get this on here. I don't know what the heck that is, but we'll get that off. Just gonna kind of try not to touch and just kind of drizzle it over, just so it gets a little bit of moisture on there. It's okay if you touch it a little bit, but I'm going to try not to move around that seasoning too much. Touch it over here. Just look for some of the dry spots on the meat and try and cover that with some of the juice. You're not going to use very much. Good enough for me. Maybe this little spot right here looks a little dry. And another, I am repeating myself like crazy, but another hour and we should be pretty close.
All right, so while this is going for its second hour, I'm going to get this ready once it's kind of getting close. So I got a cup of apple juice. I'm going to also add that little bowl of apple juice that I have. I would guess this is probably around 1.25 cups total. And then I'm going to add some, like a heaping spoonful of light brown sugar. I'm going to mix that up so it's all dissolved in there. And then I already had a stick of butter I melted on the stove that I'm also going to pour into this, and that's kind of going to be like the base that this steams in for the last 45 minutes to an hour after those 2 hours that they've been on the Traeger. So the last 45 minutes to an hour will be bathed in this.
All right, so total cook time is about an hour. I mixed all that brown sugar, apple juice, and butter kind of up like this. And then I'm just gonna toss these all in here. Just get them all in there, and then I'm gonna get it foil wrapped. And I'm gonna stick them back in here for just a little bit. Just to let these things soak up a little bit more flavor. And I'll change the camera angle to show you what I'm getting going on here. But these are almost done. We've got to be really close. They've been going 2 hours at 225 now. I'll change the camera angle and we'll get over to the food cart. All right, guys, we're over here at the food cart. I'm running out of daylight, so some of this I might have to audio record, but we're really close. All I'm really gonna do is I'm just gonna get these covered with foil, just like this. Just nice and tight, or as tight as you can at least. Just kind of like, you know, tuck it under and try and get a tight seal under here. And then I'm gonna let these go for about 1 more hour. And then I'm gonna pull it off the foil and leave this in here. I might drain some of that liquid out. Then I'm gonna douse them in barbecue sauce and let that go for about another 15-20 minutes. But for now, I'm gonna get this back on the Traeger. All right, words of advice. If you're using this big of a foil container like me, remove your top shelf before you start cooking, because I didn't even use it. So that was kind of a pain to get removed. So just gonna get that on there, and we're gonna let it go for about another 45 minutes to an hour. All right, guys, I've lost a little bit of daylight just because I'm cooking this late at night. But we've been going about 45 minutes covered. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use these because I've learned my lesson because it's gonna be hot. I always try and grab it barehanded. It's too hot. But I'm gonna get this off here. I'm gonna take it inside so we can, one, see it a little better, but two, I'm gonna remove this foil And then I'm gonna probably drain some of that juice, maybe. We'll see how much is evaporated or how much is in there, because that was quite a bit. And then I'm gonna get some barbecue sauce on it and put it in, probably uncovered, about 15 to 20 minutes. So we'll get this off and we'll see how it looks.
All right, so we've been going now for a total of 2 hours and 45 minutes, probably closer to the 3-hour mark in total with everything we've done. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to get this foil off, and I'm going to get these barbecue seasoning all over these things, or barbecue sauce, I mean. So I'm going to get these out of this little sauce that I made and get them onto a plate. I'm going to get rid of all this juice, and then I'm going to put all the ribs back in. And I'm going to barbecue sauce each side of them. And then I'm going to get them on for their last finishing bit in the Traeger. The good news about this is you can use any kind of barbecue sauce you want. I'm using Sweet Baby Ray's, but this method of cook will work for St. Louis. It'll work for Baby Back. I would say these are more of a St. Louis type. They're a little bit thicker, so if you are using the other kind of ribs, you just got to kind of keep an eye on them. Because I haven't tried it on the other ones, but I'm sure it would work. Pork is pretty forgiving, in my opinion, when you're cooking it on a Traeger or a slow cooker kind of style, like smoking. They're very, very forgiving as long as you keep an eye on them. So I'm not going to bore you guys with putting barbecue sauce on both sides of these. I'm going to show you this other side because it's pretty self-explanatory. I'm just getting the barbecue sauce on both sides. The last part of this is just getting them tacky on the grill. So I've been going at 225 this entire time, and I will towards the end as well. So here we go. This is what the finished product is going to look like. Let's get these on. All right, so we've got them all sauced up here. Now we're just going to go for another 15, 20 minutes, maybe even a little bit longer. Just check on them from here. The ribs are already essentially done. We're just going to get this sauce thickened up. I'm just going to leave them in the tray like that, 15, 20 minutes, and leave them alone. Again, I'm sorry for running out of daylight here, but these are going to turn out amazing, and I can't wait to try them. All right, so about 20 minutes have gone by. I left my flashlight, of course. I'm going to take a peek at these and see how they're looking. Got a flashlight here. I think these can go a little bit longer, just to tack up a little bit more. So I'm going to leave these alone probably another 10 minutes or so, and we'll see how they turned out. Alright, so another 20 minutes have gone by. Let me get this flashlight on. Those have tacked up a little bit, getting pretty dang close, maybe because of the tin foil. But I'm going to call these good for me. I'll try and get the camera a little bit closer. The top there could use a little bit more tacking up. But overall, these have been going for quite a while. I think these are good to go. I'm going to pull them off, and I'm going to give them a taste, let them sit for a bit. Then all that's left now is to give these a taste and see how they turned out. All right, guys, I got these back inside, and in my opinion, these are looking great. However, I do wish I had gone a little bit longer at the end stage where I let the barbecue tack up. You could see some of it didn't quite firm up as much. However, it still did pretty good. So I didn't get a chance to taste this outside just because it was already dark out and I wanted to get a good shot. So I'm going to show you what it looked like, and having already tried this, this turned out incredible. I'm going to post everything down below. Again, it's a link to my Amazon. It is not required and it does not cost more to you to purchase things from there, but it does help my channel, so I do appreciate it. But certainly I do not require it, and I appreciate everybody watching. This turned out absolutely incredible. If you enjoy this kind of content, please consider subscribing. And man, look at the color on these things. Turned out great, made everyone happy. Again, please subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. These turned out absolutely amazing. I can't say enough about these. Please give them a shot. Let me know how they turn out, and give me a comment down below if you gave them a shot. Thanks again.